The Detroit Lions made their roster moves ahead of the Week 5 matchup with the Cincinnati Bengals. And, well, there's a name on this roster move or designation list that has Lions fans a little concerned here. And the question is about Taylor Decker. Is he going to play this week, or has this injury become unmanageable to this point to where he's finally going to miss some time? Well, we're going to get into all of that and more and what I know about Taylor Decker up next.
Pressured by Hutchinson, he goes down again.
All right, first, do us a huge favor and subscribe to the channel. We could really use your help getting beyond 10K, and we're going to give away 2 tickets to a lucky Detroit Lions fan to a home game this year for the Detroit Lions, but you have to leave a comment after you subscribe in the video or live stream, and that's how you're going to get picked. So moving on to what this video is all about is Taylor Decker, the elevations, who's going to play, who's not going to play, Giovanni Manu, Dan Skipper. I mean, there's a lot of things going on here. And what I will start with is that I was sent this article snippet today by one of the Rockhound Detroit Lions members, and they were concerned. They were concerned because it seemed like the language was a little bit off, and the potential for Trey Hendrickson to now tee off on the Lions if, in fact, Taylor Decker's not in there. I mean, I get it. I understand the concerns, right? I'm maybe a little less concerned, but I understand it. And I did notice a couple of things maybe factually inaccurate. So let's just take a look at the screen real quick. And here's the snippet. It says, elevated offensive tackle Devin Cochran from the practice squad. This one feels pretty notable because Taylor Decker did not practice once this week. He's questionable to play on Sunday, and it has been normal for him to miss a practice or 2 while the Lions try to get him healed up from his shoulder injury. But in this case, he didn't practice at all, and this game could be seen as an opportunity to rest him. There's some things in there that aren't fully accurate. I would agree that the elevation of Devin Cochran is notable. I do believe it's a little bit intriguing, given the fact that the roster moves ahead of this Sunday's matchup with the Bengals included a couple of offensive linemen, one offensive lineman in the wake of having Taylor Decker still active and Giovanni Manu. I completely understand the injury concern surrounding Taylor Decker and you know, as he's officially listed as questionable, but that's no different. It's the same shoulder injury. It's the same injury that he's been dealing with for several weeks now. It's no different. Despite playing all 4 regular season games, he's had that injury designation from week to week to week. That hasn't changed. The question is the injury worse? Is it getting worse? He went up against the Browns last week. Pretty tough competition. I'm sure that shoulder got beat up pretty bad in that game. The question, though, about the snippet is maybe the major flaws, I guess, if you will, that I noticed in the article. It notes that Decker may miss a practice or 2, right? Or the officially questionable this week, which, again, is no different than every other week. But missing a practice or 2, that kind of would lead someone to believe that, oh, man, he's only missed a practice or 2 this whole season, and now he's missed the entire week. Well, that sounds way worse, doesn't it? If you knew that maybe he missed every day except for 1, that would be a different story, would it not? So that's the main reason why this fan was concerned or whatever, because they were saying, man, he's been practicing the whole time and now he's not. Is he in trouble, or, you know, is he going to have to be, you know, go on IR? What's going on here? So look, it's no surprise to me that Decker again in week 5 did not practice. And matter of fact, here's the truth. He's only practiced 1 time this entire season in the regular season, which was the Friday before the Ravens game. But let's take a look. Don't believe in me. Let's just take a look. Let's look at the injury reports. Take a look at the screen. Here's week 5. All right, here's Taylor Decker. Did not practice all week, and he's questionable, right? Let's go to week 4. All right, week 4. Here's Taylor Decker. Shoulder. Did not practice all week. Questionable. Played in that game. Let's go to week 3. And listen, the reason why I'm not mentioning the individual's name with the articles because that's not the goal. The goal is just to correct this so we have an understanding of what's going on with Taylor Decker here. Here's week 3. Did not practice. Full participant on the Friday before, and Saturday did not practice. That was before a Monday night game. Questionable again. So nothing has changed. He's practiced once this entire season during the regular season. Here's week 2. Week 2. Remember, Taylor Decker re-injured his shoulder after week 1. Did not practice all week, listed as questionable ahead of the game. All right, let's go to week 1 now. All right, week 1, you're going to notice something a little bit different. Taylor Decker is listed as rest, right? No injury designation. Friday, he didn't practice. Again, rest. Game status, no game status. So he was clear, right? And throughout this entire season, he's only practiced one time, and he's been questionable every week. So that is a big nothing burger for me, right? So is Decker going to be out versus the Bengals? If that's really the question, well, I guess let's break it down. Let's do it some justice then. If he can't go, he can't go. But it's no surprise to me that he didn't practice. It's no surprise to me that he's questionable heading into this game. Okay, I think the Lions have plenty of guys to be able to back him up. But let's break this down. What is Trey Hendrickson going to do now, right? What is Joseph Ossai going to do now? What is this Bengals front going to do against the Detroit Lions if, in fact, Taylor Decker can't go? That's what we're going to talk about right now. So if Decker can't go, then again, let's just say he's inactive, okay? The Lions are expected to turn to who? Giovanni Manu. They've been grooming this guy, as a starting left tackle of the future. He's been developing steadily since being drafted in 2024. And while this would be his first career start, he said a few weeks ago he was ready to go when Taylor Decker re-injured his shoulder after week 1. And I think a lot of us believe in in Giovanni Manu, but we just haven't seen it yet, right? We have to see it. And if you're entering a game like this where you're going up against one of the best in Trey Hendrickson, that's not a good game to walk into for your first career start. But then again, if Giovanni Manu, if he does start, has a great game, then I have seen enough, right? So, look, the Lions have invested a ton of assets into Giovanni Manu. Growth has been there. Decker put a ton of energy into him over the summer, and even behind him, you have Cochran. Cochran would likely serve as the primary swing tackle, the backup, ready to step in if, either side needed it, right? His elevation could also simply be about insurance at a premium position. But I have another take. I have another reason why this guy is being moved up, and I'll let you know that in just a moment. But this could also reflect that he's shown enough in practice, right? That he's ready to earn some opportunity this weekend if in fact he's needed. My question is this: where the hell is Dan Skipper? Right? We haven't heard much from him, and he's kind of somewhat vanished this season. After cut day, he was cut. He was brought back. I think he was cut again, then brought back, put on the practice squad, and then I guess I'm just a little bit surprised that Skipper wouldn't be getting some action here. And I did notice that Skip was a bit rigid, right? And I did say, before cut day, I didn't expect him to make the roster because he looked a bit rigid in practice. So I'm not sure on his current health. And, it was reported a few weeks ago that maybe he was dealing with something, but never really knew what, right? Never really knew what. So who's Cochran? Really, we don't know a lot about him. He was picked up right around week 1 for the Detroit Lions. He's undrafted in 2022. He signed with the Bengals and spent his rookie season on the practice squad. And then he appeared in 9 games, 1 start for the Bengals in 2024. He logged 152 snaps. He split almost evenly between left and the right side, that season. So he has some good experience. He was waived during final cuts of this year. He was close to making the roster, so that does mean something, right? He was then signed to the Lions practice squad after week 1. So not only does he bring some swing tackle versatility, but he also has direct familiarity with the Bengals and that defensive front, the personnel, the defensive looks. And so he'll have some things to add for the Lions this week. So now let's take a look at how the Bengals defense has been performing and where Trey Hendrickson has been lining up and how this could go down for the Lions this week. So let's start with the depth chart. All right, so here you go for the Cincinnati Bengals. You have Joseph Ossai on the left side, and then you have Trey Hendrickson on the right side, BJ Hill and TJ Slayton on the interior. Now, Shamar Stewart is already ruled out, so they don't have the good backup behind either Trey or Joseph. Miles Murphy, he's the other backup, and then Cedric Johnson is already on IR, and then they have Cam Sample behind them. So they're a little bit light in the defensive end room. I mean, all they really need is 2 with some sort of rotation. They also have Demetrius Knight, which if you guys remember from all my work during the draft, Demetrius Knight was one of my favorite linebackers. So he is someone to pay attention to. They have a couple of good linebackers, but they also have DJ Turner out on the left side corner, Cam Taylor-Britt out on the right side, Jordan Battle, really good safety, Geno Stone, another really good safety, and then Dax Hill is the guy that Dan Campbell's kind of warning us all to pay attention to. So the question is, what are these guys doing, right? How are they performing? Well, Joseph Asai, not great, 53.4 overall PFF grade, 64.5 against the run, only 3 tackles, 1 sack, 2 assists, and no forced fumbles so far on the season. And if you look, he's got 171 snaps, so he's definitely played enough. 40 against the run, 120 against the pass. He has 4 stops, again, 1 sack, 10 hurries, 12 total pressures through 4 weeks. So he's getting about 3 pressures a game, right? Let's go a little bit deeper. Let's take a look at what he's doing, where he's lining up, because this is what matters if we're trying to figure out if in fact, where these guys are going to line up if Decker's out. So if you look at his snaps right here, left end outside, and left outside linebacker, he primarily lines up on the left side. He rarely lines up on the right side. So if he's on the left side, he's going up against Penei Sewell, right? That's Sewell's matchup. Sewell will definitely take care of that, no problem. Flip it to the other side, right? Let's take a look at Trey Hendrickson. What is he doing this year? 78.3 overall. I mean, that's not terrible. And he's got 19 pressures on the season, 200 snaps. Decent against the run. Really good against the pass rush. I mean, he's not playing to the level of Aiden right now, but this is the top 16 defensive end right now, especially after missing all of camp. 2 sacks on the season, 199 snaps, 7 stops, 12 hurries, 5 hits, 19 pressures on the season. Well, you could guess that he's lining up where? Where is he lining up, right? He's lining up on the right side, primarily. You can see in just about every game, he's getting about 35, 38, 40 snaps on the right side. So Joseph Asai is primarily playing on the left, and Hendrickson is primarily playing on the right. So what does that mean, right? That's the biggest question. So who's going to get the assignment? Trey Hendrickson then would be lined up against Giovanni Manu. So this would be a huge, huge matchup. Well, it would edge to the Bengals, right? Unless Giovanni Manu comes to play. But here's my straightforward take. Like, here's what I think is going on. I think Decker's fine. I think he could play. Is this a game that you could rest him? Potentially. You're going to give some things up on the offense, but potentially. You could also do some things on the left side to double up Hendrickson and not really have to worry about the other side at all, right? You really wouldn't. Not with Penei Sewell on Joseph Asai. So if you had 2 guys in and you go, a little bit heavier on the offensive line, or you bring in extra tight ends, they can handle Trey Hendrickson just fine. So the straightforward take is this. If Taylor Decker doesn't play, or even if he does, I think that this is an opportunity to get Manu and Cochran some snaps. I really believe that Manu would be on the left side, clearly, and betting on his size, athleticism, and his development, that's where he would go. You're not moving Penei Sewell. You're keeping Cochran in the game active as an insurance policy in case something happens. But man, what about getting these guys some opportunity, right? So now you have an opportunity to give both of these guys some snaps later in the 4th quarter, maybe into the 3rd quarter. If the Lions have a big enough lead, you pull Taylor Decker out, you put one of these guys in. Maybe the next quarter you put another guy in. It just all depends on how the game is flowing. But I think that's the real opportunity. I do believe that Taylor Decker is going to play. I don't think that there's anything to worry about with the reason why they're bringing this guy up. I think it's insurance, and I think it's giving someone an opportunity, and they're probably going to go a little bit heavier on the offensive line. That's my final take. I think Taylor Decker is going to be okay. He really needs that bye week. And that'll give him a couple of weeks to rest up. So I do believe the Lions are going to try to find a way to limit his snap load in this game. And that's why these guys are being brought up. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. Please, again, do us a favor, like, share, and subscribe. Hype it up if you can. That would really help us to reach more Lions fans just like you. Let's go get a win versus the Bengals. And Taylor Decker, man, keep on battling, dude. Man, what you're doing is really commendable. in there and fighting with that shoulder injury. So keep being you, man. Go one pride, go Detroit Lions. We'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.
Pressured by Hutchinson.